Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Vidal, it's good to see you. A recent World Intellectual Property Organization study found that the U.S. lags behind China and much of the world in our efforts to fully mobilize the inventive talent of our nation's women. Recent reports by the National Bureau of Economic Research and Citigroup estimates that closing our racial and gender patent gaps would add $1 trillion to our annual GDP. This is to say nothing of the growth that could be unleashed by expanding opportunities to underserved geographies and veterans. Unleashing this potential is why we passed Senator Leahy's Unleashing American Innovators Act last year. And Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to place a letter Senator Leahy sent to me about the importance of that legislation into the record.
Without objection.
Unleashing our country's full potential is also why last Congress I worked with Senators Tillis, Coons, and other colleagues to introduce the IDEA Act, which directs the PTO to collect demographic information that patent applicants submit on a voluntary basis, so that we have data to rely upon as we make certain decisions. So my staff is now working with your staff on some technical changes to the bill that I referred to, and I hope to reintroduce it soon. Can you speak about how important it is to unleash our country's full innovative potential, meaning women and minority persons?
Thank you for that question. That is a very key focus of mine through the work that I'm doing for the Council for Inclusive Innovation, to the work that I'm doing across the United States Patent and Trademark Office. I am focused on that for the very reasons that you note, that not only is it a matter of equity, it's a matter of it's a national imperative that we do this. It's going to unlock innovation. In terms of demographic information, I agree that collecting it would be extremely helpful to inform our policies, to inform our actions. That is why, in view of the act that you introduced, I've been working separately at the USPTO to find ways to be able to satisfy the Paperwork Reduction Act requirements while still being able to collect that data. So we are working in parallel to try and make that happen.
Do you have any specific kinds of programmatic changes or whatever you're pursuing to, for example, focusing on women to submit their patents?
I do, Senator. The Secretary of Commerce and I founded the Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, and through that initiative, we are working to help women across the country learn about the innovation ecosystem, learn the value of intellectual property, and learn the resources that we have available. That is everything from trainings that we offer to pro bono help if they're under-resourced, to our pro se offerings where if people are filing on their own, we provide additional assistance. So we are trying to provide all of that information. In addition to that, we're trying to figure out where women might opt out of the process. We have seen studies that suggest that when women receive a rejection letter as part of the patent process, they are more likely to opt out than men. So we are creating additional language around that. We are creating cover letters that welcome people, everyone, not just women, to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, that let them know of the available resources and that encourage them on their way, and really put some of these objection letters and final rejections into context so that they will persist in obtaining patent protection.
We were told the story of Sarah Blakely, the inventor of Spanx. She talked about how she had her invention, and she went to all these male attorneys to ask them for help in patenting it, and they basically laughed in her face. And it was when she went to a female patent attorney that she was able to patent her product, her invention. So I think that the idea of expanding and diversifying, it runs across all gamuts, including lawyers, you know, to be able to know a product when they see it. But when it comes to diversifying the ecosystem for patents, we really have to be intentional about it, and whatever you can do to get across to women in our country, girls, in our country, that they can invent things and that they can be part of a huge economic, make a huge economic difference to our country. So I'd like to continue to hear what you're doing and be as supportive as I can be.
May I address that briefly?
Yes.
So I do want to let you know that in addition to the efforts that I explained, we're also broadening the bars to practice before the United States Patent and Trademark Office. We believe that will have an impact on diversity as well. We're broadening the patent bar. We are in the process of setting up a design patent bar so that people who do not have electrical engineering degrees can still practice before us if they're practicing in the area of design patent protection. And we're also looking at broadening the PTAB bar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hirono. Senator Padilla.